Disregard recent criticism from a coalition of politicians who oppose government and focus on policies, Shehu Sani advises, just as opposition coalitions say they have no personal interest beyond national interest, as perceived in some quarters. Now, PDP Secretary tussle lingers as National Executive Committee gives dates for NEC meeting, I beg your pardon. And we also have getting some insight from our guest, member representing Ughelli South, Ughelli North, and Udu Federal Constituency, Francis Waive. We have this and more political update today. I'm Fisayo Ogunfuyi. Welcome. A human rights activist and former senator representing Kaduna Central, Shehu Sani, says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is on the right path to addressing the numerous challenges inherited from previous administrations and urging Nigerians to disregard recent criticisms from a coalition of politicians accusing government of worsening poverty in the country. According to him, many of these critics failed to deliver when they held power just 24 months ago.
By what he called a false accusations from a group of politicians, Comrade Shehu Sani stepped out to set the record straight.
People enrich themselves, destroy the economy, and today they had the shameless boldness to face a nation and talk to them about poverty. The North has benefited better under President Tinubu.
He says the politicians should apologize to Nigerians for their failures while in power, instead of criticizing the president who is working hard to address the challenges he inherited.
We have a country where the economy is relatively stabilized. You should resist those people who failed to address the socio-economic problems of northern Nigeria when they had the opportunity to, and are now inciting the public in the north against the government.
Comrade Shehu Sani urges Nigerians to continue supporting the president and remain vigilant against individuals driven by selfish ambition and a desperate desire to reclaim power at any cost.
Meanwhile, some leaders of the opposition coalition say their interest is predicated on national interest and not self, as perceived in some quarters. They made this clarification as they continue in their quest for a platform ahead of the 2027 general elections.
We must all agree to submit ourselves to the interest of the nation first, before the interest of ourselves.
We must find a way to really find our first 11 and put them forward.
And I think the key challenge for Nigerians in 2027 is really to look at those that are offering themselves for leadership.
You may call me a conspirator, you may call me anything, and that is why we are in this alliance.
There are a number of you who are expert conspirators, who know how to assemble coalitions and then take over governments as you did to my party in 2015.
Making democracy count is the theme of this year's National Democracy Solidarity Walk, which is the 6th in the series as the current administration attained 2 years in office.
The call on Nigerians to keep making democracy count could not be more timely as citizens stand halfway through the life of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. Organized by the National Democracy Stakeholders Group in collaboration with the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, emphasis here is on a mid-term impact assessment of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration.
We believe that democracy is a journey, it's not a destination. Asking us to assess the Bola Tinubu administration, I want to give account from where he met the country. He met the country as a position where inflation was very high. The cost of subsidy was eating up to the very fabric of every Nigerian child alive and child yet unborn. And at this meeting, I would want to say that the presidency has done well, but there's need to do more.
And the only way we can continue to secure Nigeria, secure our lives, and secure our futures is to uphold democracy and do the very best that we can. Always stand by the truth and do what is right.
while acknowledging that the present administration is propelling Nigeria to its pride of place. More is expected in the areas of security, the economy, employment and youth empowerment as the administration begins its journey on the third year. The National Democracy Solidarity Walk took off from the Eagle Square and terminated at the Unity Fountain.
Just like some of those speakers said, it is a process, it is a destination that is the main crux of the matter, and the process is also what we are doing right now, moving from one point to the other, looking for the best versions of ourselves, and making sure that the Nigerian has a say in the destination of state. Now joining us in the studio is a member representing Wheelie South, Wheelie North, and Udu Federal Constituency of Delta State, Honorable Francis Waive. Reverend, thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure always. Thank you.
We've not had this conversation for a while. I tried to get you when that tsunami in Delta happened. You were outside the country, and I was trying to get your contributions as far as it's concerned. You were one of the last remaining names on the APC register at the federal level in the National Assembly. All of a sudden, the big wigs now, moved from the opposition party, but the main party in your state to join the APC. Some were saying that there might be rumblings in some quarters that this has happened. For those who, perhaps paid the price of opposition, especially in the 2023 general elections, and now that, there are new. There's a paradigm shift as far as your state is concerned, and even the governor is now a member of your party. Are you afraid of perhaps being pushed to one corner after all your efforts?
Thank you very much. Those who are from Delta and who know how everything happened will tell you that I'm definitely not afraid. Some have described me as the man who saw tomorrow. I'm one of those who worked to ensure that we have the majority of Deltans on the side of the ruling party. And we know the benefits that will accrue to our states and our people when that happens. So I'm full of joy. In the last assembly, I was the only APC member of the House of Representatives. When we started this assembly, the 10th assembly, I was the only member. But I'm glad to say that today we are 9 out of 10. And I'm thrilled, I'm happy. And I know that from all indications, we are going to win the 2027 election by a landslide, all the elections. The old members of the APC, those of us who have been there before our brothers came in, we have nothing to fear. Meetings are going on at the ward level, at the local government level, at the constituency levels, senatorial level, state level, reassuring our people that we are the more the merrier, and that we are all going to win. President Tinubu will win, Governor Cherif Oborevori will win, I would win, the more the merrier.
Yeah, we'll get to all that. There's enough time. We'll probably talk about governance, and the people would also make sure, that their thoughts about your administration and your disposition to some of the concepts you shared on the podium come to the fore. But before we go to all that, let's look at this past 2 years in terms of your legislative experience and your interactions with the executive. The promises you made on the podium and the realities today, is there any meeting point or are there apologies?
Sure. My people would tell you that they've never had it so good. Within these 2 years of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government, he has signed into law my bill establishing the Federal Medical Center Onya in Udu local government of Delta State. My people are ecstatic. They are happy. And that's just one out of several benefits that my people have gotten from my representation. And from the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we are prepared to vote for him again. My people are just happy. And I can go on and on to mention the different things that have happened. People who have gotten empowerment, my position on the floor when I speak for our people. Even the tragic event that happened at Okwama, we have been able to put behind us, and we have been able to work with the military authorities to restore peace to the area. And what we are working towards now is for reconstruction of the homes and bringing back the people back to dwell back in their living homes. So we are moving forward, and we are thrilled with what is happening.
All right, let's look at some realities in terms of, for instance, our national budget and the expectations. With current realities in the global market and all that, are you working in terms of you and your legislative colleagues to make sure that those ideas you shared with Nigerians, especially to be actualized in this budget, you can still maintain those timelines and those projects, especially the ones under your purview that you supervise in terms of, in your area, for instance? Are those timelines still cast in stone, or maybe there are some, realities that we may need to consider?
No, if you look at the economic goals that were set and the basis on which they were set, you will find that we are doing very well. The exchange rate, for example, on which the budget was written was 1,500 naira to $1. We're not doing badly with that. We'll gradually get to $1,500 before the year runs out. The inflation rate that Mr. President was talking about pushing down, you will discover that now in early June, you find that inflation is stabilizing and dropped from what it used to be in December when the budget came into being. You will also find that even oil prices are stable, although that's based on the international market. But production in itself, we have not gone below what it was before President Tinubu came into office.
But there are some challenges in your zone in terms of issues of bunkering, issues of threats to the pipelines and all. Are those reducing, or are the intrepid guys still finding a way of upsetting the apple cart?
Oh, if you follow the news, you will know that cases of sabotage to oil pipelines and oil theft has been on the drop all along until what happened in Rivers State, and that also is also being taken care of at the moment. But until that point, you'll find that there was an upsurge, and we're getting near the 2.06 million barrels per day that the budget had set. Now we're lower than that, but we hope that before a long time, as the pipelines are restored and democracy thrives, we would shoot above the 2.06 per day barrel that we had envisaged when the budget was written. So there's peace and stability in the South-South. If you ask anybody in this country, the South-South zone of Nigeria is one of the most peaceful at this moment, comparatively. When you talk about insecurity in all geopolitical zones, the South-South geopolitical zone is one of the most secured in the country today. You can take that to the bank.
All right. Well, I will just take it here in the studio. But let's take this last story, after which we'll come and discuss a little bit of politics from your state as well, ahead of the June 30, 2025 date set by the National Executive Committee of the People's Democratic Party. The embattled National Secretary of the party, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, was vowed never to back down in his quest to retain the office as the National Secretary of the party. Senator Anyanwu was speaking at a media briefing in Abuja.
The 99th National Executive Committee meeting of the PDP held this Tuesday in Abuja, but without Senator Samuel Anyanwu, who insists he remains the party's elected National Secretary. Reacting to the NEC meeting, Anyanwu said he never resigned as the National Secretary of the PDP and wonders why anyone should declare his seat vacant.
PDP is a party, an organization ruled by law, and we should respect our constitution. And they make it look as if I'm one person causing problem in PDP. What would my position be obstructive from being, whether you want to be president, whether you want to be governor? What would my position do? My position will end by December.
The National Executive Committee of the PDP had earlier resolved that it will take decision on the resolutions of the Southeast Executive Committee, which recommended the replacement of Anyanwu as the PDP National Secretary. Reacting to the ongoing coalition involving the PDP, Senator Samuel Anyanwu rejected reports of an impending coalition involving the PDP, asserting that the party is not part of any alliance talks.
all right, the brokering the PDP and the pathway forward will still be seeing how things unfold in that quarter, in the course of the year, as well as all the other elections that they would be participating in, and see how the party's fortunes turn out. But we still have Honorable Francis Ejirogana-Waive, in the studio. A lot of PDP members trooping into your party in your state, many of them citing these irreconcilable differences amongst the ESCOs of the party, as well as some issues that have not been resolved, which may be a threat to their own positions as party members. That is what they put on, on the front burner when discussions were being held between them and, the wooers who are from APC. But let's look at the Delta State, which has been the PDP state all through the Fourth Republic, and now that's an APC member. Don't you feel that somehow the state may be gravitating away from its political roots?
Political roots? It's the people that make the party. It's the people that make the nation. So there's no roots as to say that a particular people or a state is tied to a particular political party. The people are the people, and they are the people who make up democracy, government of the people, by the people, for the people. And you find that it's the people that have taken the decision, because you can't take that risk of belonging to a political party that has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 factions. You were the one you showed just, I was wondering which faction was that. And then you win an election, and then the courts will say that your faction is not the legitimate faction, and all your efforts will be in vain. Deltans are too wise for that. We are now in the APC, and there's only one APC. APC is going to win the election, and our elections will not be upturned. The citizens are saying also is, at the moment, let's see how the APC coloration, how that would, dovetail or, transform into good governance also in Delta State. Perhaps now that he has joined your party, some of the ideas you had, you would share with the governor right now. Because being an APC state now, we would expect, some other, perhaps even more progressive ideas that your party continues to, espouse. But beyond that, there's also the school of thought that says that quite a number of those cross-carpeting right now are being motivated not by the general good, but by self-interest. Do you agree? I disagree. Our governor, Right Honorable Sheriff Berebori, has been described by Mr. President as a progressive governor. And that's because on the basis of what is on ground. You look at infrastructural development across the state. You look at his relationship with people. You look at his programs. You look at the way he runs the government. He's a progressive governor. All through this period, he has not borrowed any new money, and he has paid off so much debt, and he's done so much for the people. He's a progressive governor. Look at the flyovers he's constructing everywhere. Look at the people he's gotten into, the pensioners who have been paid. Look at debts that have been wiped off. He's a progressive governor. And we know that this coming into the APC is going to pay Delta State. As we speak, the Benin-Warri Expressway is being reconstructed, not purchased, by the federal government. The Benin-Asaba Expressway is also being reconstructed by the federal government. These are benefits of relating well with the government at the center. Of course, the governor is also constructing, that one is 90-something% completed, the Asaba-Ugele dual carriageway, one of the best in the country at the moment. Of
which you have a particular interest.
Of course, it goes to my constituency. I should be happy about that. Politics is local. I must be interested in what goes to my people.
Perhaps that's why you wanted him to join your party. Let's quickly let's take one last story, because it's been 50 years of the regional body. Before we come for our closing shots, the 2025 first ordinary session of ECOWAS Parliament has ended in Abuja with a call for regional peace, security, and people-driven development. At the closing session, President of ECOWAS Commission Omar Aliu Toure presented the annual midterm report of the state of the community to the House of Parliament.
2 weeks of debate now is over, with hopeful resolutions for better West Africa.
De la présente session, pour vous réitérer ma sincère gratitude pour la confiance.
Despite challenges believed to be facing the ECOWAS community, characterized by political upheavals in 3 member states as well as a slowdown in global economy, the region is witnessing economic growth.
The growth will be driven mainly by the 4 largest economies, namely Senegal 6.5%, Ghana 4.0%, Nigeria, and Cote d'Ivoire. Inflationary pressures in ECOWAS is expected to ease slightly in 2025 to 19.7%, compared to 24.8% in 2024.
Other key areas in the year under review include the restoration of democratic transition in Guinea, operationalization of ECOWAS standby force to fight terrorism, single currency program, and promotion of common market and private sector development in the region.
Our people want a safe and secure environment.
We have been told that countries do not fully respect their commitments to pay the community levies.
The state legislature amended its rules of procedures to adapt to current realities and improve transparency in decision-making process.
All right, that's about it on political updates. But we've had Honorable Francis Ejirogene Waive representing Willie South, Willie North, and Udu Federal Constituency. Final words on the program. What should we be expecting from you at the second leg of your legislative activities in the 10th Assembly, especially in terms of the myriad of, plethora of, wants and needs that your people have put on your table, looking at this concluding part of your tenure?
Yeah, other than the usual, when I say the usual, what has become the usual demands from constituents, 10 bearers, pay for hospital bills, school fees, house rent, and all of that. We intend to continue to pursue robust legislation for our people, creation of the Ughelli South Second Constituency, the creation of the Ughelli East local government out of Ughelli North, Ugiame local government out of Ughelli South, and Akoefe being the remainder. We want to pursue all this legislation to ensure that our people get a better share from the national. And we'll also be there to represent our people, to speak for them on the floor of the National Assembly, and all the budgets to ensure that the needs of our people are adequately captured. So that
the new local governments that you, very quickly, the new local governments that you want created,
yes,
is it as a result of population density in those areas, or perhaps it's just a political calculation as well?
No, of course, population density. Yeah. If you do a comparative analysis, Ughelli North, Ughelli South to do federal constituency is one of the largest in the country today. By way of landmass, by way of population, is one of the largest in the country today. In fact, it should become 2-3 federal constituencies as it stands.
All right. So I don't know which politicians cheekily said that those riverine areas, some fishes used to vote.
No, my area has a little bit of riverine in Ughelli South. Udu and Ughelli North are uplands generally.
All right, that has been Honorable Francis Waive. Many thanks for being a part of it. We're back again for another episode of the program. Please keep a day with Nigerian Television Authority, Africa's largest and best for news, reviews, previews, and interviews. But stay out of trouble and keep your politics good, safe, and for development. Fiscal Gunfi is my name. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye now.